Welcome to This Old App, a podcast about learning, coding, smashing stuff together, breaking things apart, startups, failing, winning, and any other buzzwords we can think of.
Hey, Don, we are back.
Yep.
Listeners of This Old App are probably thinking that Don and I either got in a fight related to college football or Apple and Android, or Apple versus Android, or we got bored, which is definitely not the case. But the truth is we've just been busy. Don and I were up together in Atlanta and just never had a spot where we could record something of any like audio quality. And you were at a conference. I'm actually in the process of buying a home, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. So we're back. Our CTO Think has an episode that's about to be pushed out next week too. So thanks for hanging with us, and we're going to start talking about tech again. But so I'm about to buy a home, and what I haven't had the ability to do is automate anything. The smart home, and I have to get a refrigerator and a washer dryer, and truthfully, I do not understand why I need an app to operate these things, but they are going to be able to hook up to the Wi-Fi and either get hacked by Chinese hackers or Russian hackers that decide to freeze my refrigerator side or something, or maybe overwash my clothes. But I'm kind of curious. We've talked about Alexa. Alexa has a brand. I like you that. Like, I know they released some new devices, hardware recently. I'm kind of curious for you to talk about that because I don't know much about it. And then I'm curious what you may have used for your home from a smart side of things, and see if voice tech involves that. So I guess let's start with, what did Amazon release recently that is trying to make Alexa bigger?
Yeah, we will be on for 5 hours if I go over everything in any depth. But let's real quick. They just had an event where they released a ton of new devices, announced a ton of new devices. So let's go over those real quick. The Echo Dot, which is the small little Echo, sits about an inch high, has a speaker, and the Echo Show, which is the one that's got a video portion of it. Those are getting updates. So the nice thing about the new Echo Show is they're even putting a web browser in it. So you can also now browse the web from that as well. So that'll be nice. The oddest one that was announced was the Amazon Essentials microwave. Or it's not Amazon Essentials. It's Amazon. Amazon Basics microwave.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually is. There's a bunch of quick cook voice presets, so you can say, "Hey Alexa, 2 minutes and 30 seconds on medium," something like that, and it'll fire up your microwave.
Can you just say like Amazon or Alexa pizza rolls, and then it just takes care of everything?
No, we are not to the point of fabricating food yet. Probably not far, but we're not there yet. Another odd one is there's an Echo wall clock. So it's a clock. This was a little weird that I haven't even figured out. There's probably more to it, but it's a clock that you can change the time and set alarms and set timers on the clock using your voice. So that one's interesting. In obviously they're trying to get everywhere, right, with those. Yeah. So there's also an Echo Input, which is just a microphone, and you hook it up to external speakers. So it's a small little disc that you hook up to external speakers, and it's just a microphone. There's a Echo subwoofer. There's a Alexa Guard, which is a feature that integrates your devices, your lights, and your security systems. You can say, Alexa, I'm leaving. That's not you breaking up with Alexa. That's you saying, I'm leaving the house. Go ahead and set these presets. And then Alexa, I'm home, things like that. And I don't know, but what it's got to recognize your voice as far as Alexa, I'm home, to turn off all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I haven't dug into that too much. So that's there's a new smart plug. There's a new stick up cam. That's all the new devices. In addition to all the new devices they're bringing out, they also said that they've made the display portion of the Echo devices much more robust and able to use HTML5 and all that.
Yeah.
So before it had its own language to a degree that you built the cards with. Now it's more robust. And
that is smart. I remember when I saw Echo Show the first time from a building, like a coding perspective, I was like, why are they doing it this way? Like, who did they let make this decision to not use a web standard for display? Like, that's just asinine. So yeah, I agree with that.
So that's going to be good. And the only thing is that probably means there's more style you can bring to it, and I have no style whatsoever when it comes to creating things. So everything before was fairly prepackaged. Now I've got to do more work to make things look good. But that's
if empowering me to use Alexa and Echo with a blink tag is amazing. Like, that's going to that's going to be great.
Oh, let's do that. Let's build that. In fact, segue to my next point. I sent you a link earlier this week where so Amazon's always pushing to get new skills on the marketplace. To for good and for bad, right? For good, hey, the more people that produce skills, maybe they'll find one that hits. The bad is, hey, all these people are producing all these skills that really do nothing or are poorly programmed. And Amazon always likes to tout the growth and number of skills and all that as well. But the way they do that is they give incentives to developers to publish a skill within a certain month. And before, it's been socks. I got an Echo Dot once based on publishing a skill. Yeah. It's been a shirt. It's been a backpack. It's been a number of different things. This month is significant. And this month is one where I got to go find a skill to build because I got to do this. This month, they're actually giving you the new Echo Show if you publish a skill in this month.
Yeah.
That's a $230 device. So there's a lot of benefit to going and publishing that. And sometimes there are restrictions on what you can publish. And I expected this to have the restriction that it had to be one that could display stuff.
Yeah.
But this doesn't even have that restriction. This is publish a skill.
Well, it would be hard to say, hey, we want you to develop a skill that can display. It will give you the device for the display after you do it.
Oh yeah, but there's ways you test all that on they've got a beautiful dashboard to do all that with. So we've got to get you to develop a skill here in the next 3 weeks while you're trying to plan to move and all that, so that you can get one of these devices.
How about a skill that just tells you no? You just ask it a question of, is it reasonable to find a mover in these circumstances? And Echo just says, no, don't even try. That's the reply I need. So I just quit trying.
I'm sure there's a magic 8-ball skill out there. There's probably 1,000 of them if you wanted that. So,
yes.
so you said about smart homes and your move. So
Yeah.
while we were together in Atlanta, I showed you some video off my Ring video doorbell. So I have the Ring Video Doorbell 2, I believe. And what had happened was we had a package delivered, and 5 minutes after the package was delivered, somebody came up to the door and took the package.
Yep.
And it's mostly all caught on video. The only thing that's not caught on video is him actually taking the package. You see the person there with the package on the table, and then he stands very still in order to turn off the motion detector, and then you see him walking away, and the package is no longer on the table. So
I want to pause.
Circumstantial evidence, but not anything real good. So
I want to pause right there, because this scenario, that person hacked the Ring. Hacked your video camera, and it's great. It's from a hack perspective. It's like, oh, that's genius. Not even genius. It's just like, hey, that's a flaw of Ring. And I did a search. On Google to find out, is this being talked about? And I can't find other people talking about it. But it seems too easy. It seems like this has got to be a major flaw of these smart doorbell things.
Yeah, and I will say it did show up when I was looking at reviews of the various doorbell systems.
Yeah.
It didn't show up necessarily in that scenario as far as somebody else outwitting it, but it did show up in the instance of, hey, this video doorbell only showed the person walking away. It didn't show the person coming up to the door. So we're still in that early generation of video doorbells. That said, I love the fact that we have one. For sure. Now we got one because our original doorbell broke, and I was like, I really don't want to deal with the wiring and all that, so I'll just install a video doorbell. And it hooks up to my Echo. If I had an Echo Show, it would that video the camera would pop right up on the Echo Show.
Yeah,
which is nice as well. So that is a flaw, and it's not foolproof. Now, the other thing is after we had the sheriff deal with that whole circumstance and ended up closing that case, I got home and my wife's like, "We've got another package missing."
Whoa!
And this was from a couple weeks ago, and this is a really long, drawn out story. I'll shorten as much as I can. Essentially, somebody ordered an iPad and a phone from a mobile phone carrier. I got the bill in the mail saying, "Hey, you ordered all this and this service." I called them up. I'm saying, I don't have any of these devices, and second, I never authorized this.
Yeah.
They eventually came back and said, "You're right. We found out that this was opened fraudulently." When I was on the phone, she's like, "But it shows delivered," and I just let that go. It just went right over my head. I didn't even think about it. But what ended up happening is my wife was talking to the neighbor, and the neighbor's like, there was a car parked in your driveway, and I saw a guy walking away with a package. So I got the license plate number. So we looked back on that day, and sure enough, clear as day, we've got the guy picking up the package and walking away from the house. So we have a license plate number. We've got video. We've got everything. This will be open and shut once the police get it.
Well, now hold on a second. This person did not steal your package. They got their package at your home. Is that illegal?
They opened it under my name, so
that's where the theft was. But that was for them. I know what the law would say.
You're being facetious.
Yes,
for sure.
But still, it's one of those things. These hacks are amazing. Now you are tagged as the home of like rogue deliveries, though. In some
the thing is, I don't get it. I don't get now. This is a person that didn't realize that the Ring is set up for motion.
Yeah.
So the first person rang the doorbell and assumed that since they rang it, it was recording him, so he stood still. This other person didn't even think it was recording him. So that they weren't aware of how that works. So this is clear as day done. But Anyway, so that I firmly believe in a video doorbell. We're probably going to add a couple of cameras as well to either side of the house,
Yeah.
so that we can catch more video of people walking away with our stuff.
Well, that's that's what we're looking at. We're moving to a weird scenario into a neighborhood where people leave their doors unlocked a lot. Like they talk about it as, yeah, in this community we don't lock doors, and I'm coming from Chicago, and I'm thinking, oh no, heck no, like we do not do that. And Megan even is kind of like, I'm not willing to go to that extreme of safety. So we're looking at a scenario of a Ring device and a push button. Like what I really want is a scenario where we can give people temporary keys. And so if we know someone's coming to the house to, fix an appliance, we can say, go in through the bottom door, type in this key. You'll have a window of, this amount of time. We'll have a record of them going in and going out, and then their key expires. Like that to me is the ultimate best scenario when it comes. And then I have like a permanent key, and our neighbors' kids have a permanent key because I'm sure they'll be over to see our cats or something. And it's like, that's to me the ideal kind of smart door scenario. But I assume I'm buying two devices to do that. I don't think the smart keys and the cameras are linked up. I don't know.
Not at all. And we've looked at the smart locks as well. That's the next step we'll take after we get the cameras for the sides of the houses, for the sides of the house.
Yeah.
It's just that next step. But the only problem with those is those are expensive. But those as well can be controlled. Some of those can be controlled by voice as well. You can say, Google, unlock the front door. And sure enough, if you've got the right one, it'll unlock the front door for you.
Can a person stand in front of the door and yell through the door to Google to unlock the door? And Google's like, sure. And then like, does that work?
You never know. I that's again, that with that Alexa guard, I'm sure there's a little bit of have to recognize the voice. But I haven't dug into it. So it's something to dig into.
So Ring is owned by Amazon.
Correct.
Alexa is owned by. Do those work together yet?
They do. I don't know. They've done a lot of integration because they work for the same company. I think it's just part of it because Ring will work with Google as well.
Yeah.
So, and that's I personally enjoy the Google Assistant on my phone. So I end up and in my car because I've got Android Auto. I find it's real good at recognizing my words and things like that. Whereas Alexa's just a little bit behind on that, just a little. But both of them work, and most of these smart devices, will work with all those systems. I don't know if it'll work with frickin' Bixby, but it'll work with the rest of them.
Well, you mentioned earlier, if we get to the point where you're walking out the door and you're able to say, Alexa, I'm leaving. And Alexa says, but wait, you should run. You should just run for the
hills. For sure.
Because you don't want to know why it's saying, come back to me.
Exactly.
But I think what I'm trying to figure out, the problem, like when I bought a condo a decade ago or more than a decade ago, there was a lot of home automation stuff available, but it was all proprietary. There was some Xeon, I can't remember what the name of it. There were people building networked automated hardware to automate a home. And the features that I'm thinking about were like, make your blinds go up automatically, make your TV turn on, make your lights go on automatically, sound system and stuff like that. And for the size place I got was like 625 square feet. So it was like, do I really need to add, like, in the time it takes me to tell the blinds to go up, I can walk over and make things go up. So I'm trying to figure out, like, are we still in this era where there's lots of companies jockeying for the software to reside in a home as the base and everything else plugs in API wise? Have we reached that point where no, like, use Nest? Nest and Google are owning a piece, and Alexa and Amazon are owning a piece. Are we there yet, or is this still like? Are we? Because I know when I look at the fridges for LG, they have SmartThink something or other, and I'm like, oh, I don't know that this is a good platform. And because what sucks is when a company goes, oh yeah, we hooked all of your appliances up to our proprietary SmartThink network, but we've decided to abandon that project, and now future appliances will hook into Nest. And I'm like, but I'm stuck on Think. So sure. Do you know about this stuff? Because I don't yet.
I don't know a ton. I do know that, like I said, most of them work for all of them. Even Nest works with Amazon Alexa. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yes, Google owns Nest now, but it also works with Alexa. So I would say if you find, all right, I'll put it this way: if you find any smart device that'll work with Alexa, you're in great shape. Okay, because Alexa's not going away. If you find any device that works with Google, you're probably in great shape. They're not going to go away from voice commands anytime soon. I think they're probably a little behind Alexa, but maybe not. I don't have a Google Home device. I only have the phone, so I can't say.
But devices that brag about Bixby, that's what I need to think. Like.
Yeah.
What is Bixby?
If you've got your Samsung refrigerator that says that it only responds to Bixby, it's like, okay, just go away.
What kind of fridge? What kind of fridge do you have?
Our fridge is 15 years old, so it doesn't know how to do anything. It knows how to turn a light red and green inside the door if the filter needs to be changed. That's all it knows.
It's so weird to be buying these appliances, and I'm like, and they brag about these features, or like the fridges now have these TV screens or like video screens, and I'm like, I don't need this. Right. Like I love this stuff. I love tech. I want a connected home. But when I think about the ability, like when I read a complaint about a Samsung or LG fridge compressor dying within 2 years, and then they're like, but we have these great computer screens on our doors. I'm like, I just care about the compressor, man. I don't care about the video screen.
For sure.
Because I can put a laptop on my counter if I want. I got a smartphone that does all this stuff. And I just don't like, just do the refrigeration part right. That's what I want to buy. Yep. And it feels like it's a distraction to the product makers. Like they're in this realm, and I understand it. A marketing person at Samsung is going to say, we're able to sell these fridges at $1,000 premium because we're putting $100 to $200 screen on it. So you tell us if we should stop doing it. And I'll be like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. But at the end of the day, Megan and I go to the Best Buy, and she walks right by the fridges with a screen. She's like, I don't need that crap. Yep. And then she's looking at freezer drawer size, and I agree with that. I'm like, yeah, that's what I care about. So it's just, I love this stuff. I love the idea of having a home that is easier to use and you can talk to it and get stuff done. But at the same time, I don't trust that LG and Samsung are building the long-term technology that works with Alexa or works with Google. And that's why I'm like,
can I add one more company that I wouldn't trust as far as home automation, please?
Oh no. Yes.
Apple. Siri is significantly behind and Alexa and Google Assistant. And I would, if you're buying a smart device and it says it only works with Siri, I'd be concerned. This is not my normal Apple bashing, although I will gladly take part in it. But first,
I'm joining you. Has any product from Apple released in the last decade had less significance in Apple Home?
Not that I can think of.
I mean, the watch came out, and now they're starting to turn up the heat on it. Like, it's getting popular and it's getting functional. Sure. And Apple Watch fans are now emerging. Right. But Apple Home, Apple Maps has always done better than Apple Home. I mean, come on. And it blows me away how a company that depends on the foundation of a platform has somehow let the home piece completely go to the wayside. Not just in the tech, but also in just the talk.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even talk about it. I'm just like, where is this gap in their product plan? I understand why the Apple Car has not emerged.
Right.
But they also haven't bragged about it. They didn't release it as a product. Apple Home, dead on arrival and no longer discussed. And I'm like, what is going on with that side of the Apple world? So yeah, I'm on your side of that bashing part.
Well, one thing I want to real quick hit before we wrap up, and you and I talked a little bit about this when we were together in Atlanta. Anybody listening out there that is bored or needs a side project or something like that, try to jump on this voice revolution. We're in early days. So if you go and you make yourself useful in being able to build Alexa skills and whatever they call the Google Assistant stuff, and usually if you can build for one, it's just a couple code tweaks and it works for the other. So it really look at getting into this, because it's early days and you're going to be marketable, or you're going to be able to create products that are marketable if you can get in on this. It's something Randy and I've been discussing, and I'm sitting here going, I want in on this revolution, but I don't have the time. I've got to do these other things, and I see that I'm going to miss this boat.
To add to that, and I know we have to wrap up in 2 minutes, but the way someone can get started, JavaScript is really all you need at its core.
Absolutely.
And understanding kind of the serverless function stuff which is very simple. You can get a serverless function running on AWS or Firebase easy. If you know a little bit of Node and Express, you can get those done. You don't need a whole lot more. You just need to know how to have the device send a signal to the back of, like, the Lambda or whatever. But it's a very compact amount of information you need to get up and running. It's not that steep. So
and Amazon has made where Alexa skill development is today versus 2 years ago, it's leaps and bounds. It is so easy to get in. And they say it's for Node, and it kind of is, but it's really just JavaScript. There's nothing real Node-y about it. It's plain old JavaScript. So it's real easy to get into. And like I said, if you've got the time, if you've got the inclination, that's an industry I would be looking to jump into.
All right, we got to wrap it up. Good talk. I will keep you abreast on my smart home stuff search. And we will talk next week.
Sounds good. See ya.
Thanks for listening to This Old App. Show notes and previous episodes can be found on our website at www.thisoldapp.online. Reviews on Apple iTunes are always appreciated and help promote the show. For questions, comments, or things you would like to hear on future shows, please email us at hello@thisoldapp.online. Show music is Guns Blazing by Fab Claxton, licensed by Pond 5. Voiceover work by MeganVoices.com. You'll hear from us soon.